Hello friends, my name is Nelly and today we are going to be talking about our Camp NanoWriMo plans. So I don't know how the lighting is going to be showing up in this because it's a really gloomy day out and I'm trying to fix the lighting and everything. We're just going to go with it though. But I'm going to be talking about my Camp Nano plans. It's currently March 28th. So Camp Nano starts in a few days and I'm really excited. I've never participated in Camp Nano before. I mean, before last year, I'd never participated in Nano before either. Like, I'd always known about it. And I always said I was going to participate, but like until last year, like late last year, I didn't really take the whole writing thing seriously. But I'm so excited for Camp Nano. I'm a little nervous because apparently I think I'm like some superhero, like I can do it all. But I am excited. So basically I have three like goals, three projects I want to work on, and they're all in like very different stages of what I'm gonna do. But I'm also in school. I'm in my last semester of school ever. So I'm in school. I have like other work to do, but like some part of my brain is like, no, Nelly, you can do it. You'll be fine. Even though I know it's gonna stress me out. But we're gonna be working on three projects. We're gonna be working. We're gonna be working on three projects, but like not the entire month. I'm gonna explain. So the first project we're gonna be working on is just a continuation of what I'm doing right now. So currently I'm in edits for the first book in a series, and the goal was to have it done by the end of March so that like the first few days of April I could like reread it, go through all that and then send it off to beta readers. That's still the plan, but I'm definitely not going to be done with edits by the end of March. So I'm just going to continue editing throughout like the first week of April, then send it out to betas. But basically this is it's kind of a paranormal, it's definitely paranormal. It's an urban fantasy paranormal, kind of a romance, kind of not a romance. Like it is a romance, but also I feel like it's definitely less focused on the romance and more focused on the family and like more the like what's happening in like the world. But like there's definitely romance parts in it, because it's me, I can't not have romance. So that's the basic idea. It's about witches and all sorts of creatures. So I'm currently in chapter 19 of edits out of 27. Well, it's like I always say 28 because the prologue plus 27 chapters. So I'm on chapter 19, which is technically 20 out of 28. I'm like a week behind on these edits, but it's fine. So yeah, today I'll probably try to do the rest of 19 and like start on 20. But going into Camp Nano, I'm just gonna try to edit it and finish it so I can send it off to betas. And then the betas that I'm thinking about, I'm not sure again because it's gonna depend on when I send out to betas. But based on the timeline they've given me, based on when I want to send it to them, I should be receiving the feedback back by like the last week of April. So around the last week of April, I don't know if I will, but technically I can go into beta revisions. So that part I don't know, but we're tentatively working on this and this is full edits. So project number 2 is actually directly related to project number 1, and it's to outline the final book in that series. So basically what I did for the first book is I wrote it for NanoWriMo, and then after writing it I went in, so like I did Preptober, so I outlined it in October, I wrote it in November, and then in December, like late November, just all of December, I outlined books 2 and 3. My goal was to outline 2, 3, and 4, like to outline the entire series. But I outlined the first two, like not the first two, I outlined 2 and 3. And I was just so excited to start writing because writing is my favorite part of the entire process. So I was just like, you know what, we'll outline the last one later. So in January and February, I went in to write, 2 and 3. So I still don't have an outline for 4. I know what the ultimate climax is gonna be, but like we need to get there. So I'm thinking when I send off book 1 to betas, I'm gonna go in and read 2 and 3, take notes for like future edits, and just so I can remember everything I had in there. Kind of see where I can throw in foreshadowing for the 4th book, which I actually threw in the first book too already, like lightly. I have another light thing that I already know I'm gonna throw in. But yeah, and then that's gonna kind of help me determine what I'm trying to do with the 4th one. And then outline it. My outlines go anywhere from like 9,000 to like 15,000 words, depending on how descriptive I am. So like sometimes I just write, this is what happened. So it takes like 2 or 3 lines. They're always bullet pointed, but like sometimes I write like just this happened. So it's only like 2 or 3 lines. Sometimes I write like a whole paragraph of like what's gonna happen. So obviously that ends up taking a lot more words, which is why the outline ends up being a lot longer, but it could really be anywhere between that. So yeah, I'm estimating like 13,000 words for that. I don't know, we'll see. And my final project is a completely different series, and it's the project out of all of these that I'm most excited about because it's the part of the process that I love the most, which is the writing process. So I wasn't planning on doing this, but apparently all the NanoWriMos are going to be writing projects because I actually just changed my schedule like lately. Like I flipped around 2 projects because before for July's Camp Nano, I was going to be editing a book as well. I was going to be writing a book in June. I flipped those 2 around. So it only makes sense for me to be writing this month. No, basically what happened for this month is I've been outlining the first book to a new trilogy, and this new trilogy is fantasy complete. It's fantasy romance. Like this one is definitely heavy romance, where each is like it's gonna be one storyline, so you have to read like book 1 to read book 2, but each book is gonna follow a different couple. I've been outlining the first book, and if you've seen my vlogs, you see that I outline the romance. I always go back and outline the romance because like that's the part I'm really excited about. But I've been having a little bit of trouble with the external plot. I actually went in and bullet pointed yesterday a bunch of things for the external plot. It's not like done, but it is helping get there. Hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll like really put it together so it makes more sense. So that on April 1st, we can start writing. I'm so excited, you have no idea. I did put my goal for 25,000 words, which if I didn't have these other projects, I would have definitely put 50,000. But I have these other 2 projects, and I don't know how much time they're gonna take. I don't know how much work they're gonna take. I am assuming they're gonna take a lot of work. So I'm just gonna like cut it in half and go 25,000. That doesn't mean I won't write more than that. It just means to win NanoWriMo, we need 25,000 words. Actually going along with my 3rd project is, it's technically, I'm not adding these in as like projects 4 or 5 or anything like that, but it's to like outline books 2 and 3 in that trilogy, not completely. Like in 2, I kind of have a tentative idea of what's gonna happen. I know who the couple's gonna be in 3. I don't really know what's gonna happen yet though. But I feel like this is just naturally gonna happen when I'm writing the book. I'm gonna start getting ideas of like what's gonna happen in future books. So like it's not a project goal, but just to tentatively start throwing stuff in for the next 2 books would be nice. It would also help for the whole foreshadowing thing to know what, the ultimate climax in book 3 is gonna be. So I can maybe sprinkle in a little bit in book 1. Plus in book 1, you meet all the characters that's a lie, but you meet characters for the other 2 books. So I want to like establish, the type of person they are, which I actually think I already have an idea of what like type of person they all are, and I'm really excited to write them. But I also want to like establish, you know, if something happened to them that they refer to in their story, like I want to have it there, all that stuff. So a lot of that I definitely think is gonna come with the outlining of, I mean, with the writing of book one. I'll just get a better idea of my characters. But I'm excited. So yeah, that is basically my entire project list for Camp Nano. I am definitely overloading myself. But, you know, where's the fun of just giving myself one project? I think when I first started, I definitely gave myself one project because I wasn't really sure how I was going to be going about it. But like recently, I've been coming up with so many ideas. And I think it's such a writer thing to do, is like come up with all these ideas that you want to do. I'm so excited. Plus I really like my characters, like the ones in my head. So I'm excited to like see them on page, because like even now with the books that I have written, when when I reread one of the scenes or something like that, I get so excited. Or like some, you know, when you read a book and then, you know, you put it down, you go to bed and you're thinking about a scene. I'll do that sometimes with like some of the books that I've written. I'm like, ugh, I want to go back and reread that scene. And I love that I do that. Like I have not yet hit the point of like being a writer where you're like, this is trash, this is like the worst thing in existence. I really enjoy my books. I honestly don't even think I'll get to the point where it's gonna be trash, because I'm not trying to make it the best thing that's ever been written. I write because I think it's fun. I write because stories are fun. So, you know, I'm not trying to be the next like Margaret Atwood, George R. R. Martin kind of thing. I'm just trying to write for fun, and I think it's gonna be like coming across that way. So I don't know, I'm really excited. But you can actually see with my Camp Nano plans that one book we're gonna be going through different rounds of edits too. So like edits 1, edits 2 is gonna be going through betas. Book 2 we're gonna be completely outlining, which I always thought I was a prancer, because I had tried to write a book before Nano last year. It was not like I just started with a blank page. It was not going anywhere. I did not know what I was trying to make of that. I think eventually in a few years I'll probably go back to that story, but I don't know what the plot was gonna be. I was just making stuff up and it was god. Like that was a book that I could say was terrible. So I definitely have to be a planner. Like I have to outline. So book 2 we're gonna be outlining, and then book 3 we'll be doing my favorite process, which is writing. I will say also, if you haven't seen my vlogs, the writing process, I mean the outlining process for this new series is very different than the one I did for my original series. By the way, the reason I'm not giving names is because I don't have names for these. I call my original series Charmed just because I got the basis idea of it from the show Charmed. It's not like Charmed, but like I got the basis idea of it from Charmed. I call the trilogy Twins just because they're twins in the story. Like it literally has nothing to do with twins. They just happen to be twins in the story, and I was like, okay, I'll just call it that. So I'm excited. I'm a little overwhelmed, but like, where's the fun in just not being overwhelmed, you know? Because I'm a little crazy. Yeah, so I kind of ramble up, but I'm just gonna thank you for watching, and if you would just like, and maybe if you wanted to subscribe, I would appreciate it. And honestly, you could follow me along on this writing journey, because you're doing Camp Nano. I want to know what your projects are. I want to know how many projects you're doing. Like, are you crazy like me, or are you just doing one, like a normal, healthy, cares about themselves human being? But yeah, I'm so excited.